Hello, my name is Mark and I want to make a confession. Lately my life has completely lost its meaning and I don't know what else to do, but I swear I'm sorry. I'll explain how the story went. Since my childhood I had a friend named Eric. He was better at everything than me. At school, he was good at almost everything and he was popular too, very different from me. He always had many friends and was good in the grades too, and I was always his opposite. While he was popular, I was alone. While he got good grades, I got bad, and everything got worse when we got to high school. Eric and I lived on the same street and our parents were friends too, and we had a good friendship. Eric always tried to fit in with people from school and with some neighbors, but it almost never worked out. When we started in high school, Eric started to become popular with the girls because he had managed to join the basketball team. I was still the same, without many friends and without any popularity. Eric and I started to get distant because he was hanging out with other people that I didn't like very much of me. I was getting more and more alone until I met a girl who made everything change in my life. Her name was Jessie and she had just arrived in our neighborhood. She caught my attention. Besides being very pretty, she noticed me and soon we started to talk. She helped me with some subjects and I fell head over heels in love with her. I couldn't stop thinking about her. My life started to get happier. It was so good to feel the sensation of love. I counted the seconds to be with Jessie. I dreamed of her. I dreamed of getting married, having children and living my whole life by her side. Until unfortunately for me, one day she asked me about Eric. She was interested in him. She told me that she saw me as a friend and nothing more, and it was with him that she wanted a chance. That had destroyed my heart. I was extremely hurt and sad. I walked away from Jessie and I was barely talking to Eric. I decided not to try to get closer. I was so sad about everything at that time. I really had lost the will to live, and scrolling through the Facebook feed, I ended up seeing that Eric and Jessie, they were dating, and that was another series of stab wounds in my heart. I started to be angry with Eric and also angry with Jessie. I was questioning myself why our lives were so different and what was the reason for him being better than me in everything. Time went by and Eric was playing basketball at a professional level and was still dating Jessie. I was trying hard not to fail high school, and I was also having a hard time in terms of money. Every day I saw news of Eric excelling in games until that he decided to launch a brand, and to my surprise he called me to be his partner. When he contacted me, he told me that he heard about my difficulties and that he hadn't forgotten about his childhood friend. He proposed the partnership and I accepted, and so my life and my financial situation began to change. I got closer to Eric, but I was still very jealous of him, and consequently I got closer to his relationship with Jessie, which was very uncomfortable around me. And I was also uncomfortable around the two of them, but sometimes it was impossible to avoid it. Even though my life was improving, I couldn't accept it, that they were together, and it started to consume me. With the work I had with Eric, high school passed quickly and soon we were graduating. To deal with my elbow pain, started getting involved with drugs and started using crystal. That wave temporarily took me out of my thoughts, horrible things about my life. As the days went by, Eric ended up realizing that I was having problems with vicios, and he was always the straight-laced type and didn't handle it very well. He gave me a good amount of money for my share of the partnership and opened up with me. That left me without ground. I had lost that job and that was everything to me. I sank into my addictions. I went to live alone and started to degrade myself. I saw Eric's success on television. He was on a famous team. His brand was a success. It consumed me, and it made me consume even more drugs. Until in the middle of the wave, I had the idea of paying to kill Eric and satiate my horrible ego. I went towards the drug dealers and asked the price of a person's head like him. At the time the bandits didn't want to do the job, but they pointed me to someone who would do it and warned me that it wouldn't be cheap. I went to the address, and it was under a bridge, a guy super addicted to crack who said they did this kind of thing. He charged me $10,000 in cash to do the job and asked me for information about the victim. I soon paid a detective for hire to find out all that was needed, and in a sad sign Eric was shot 9 times and died on the spot. 2 didn't put faith that that junkie would actually kill that rising star. I had finally done what I wanted. I had killed him and ended their lives. Jessie was devastated. I was in ecstasy. I was completely drugged. I couldn't even move in my house to celebrate anymore. At that very moment, I heard knocking on my door. They were heavy and strong knocks. They seemed to be very angry. I was very scared, so I decided not to open it, and little did I know that my true penance had begun there. My peace was gone, I was more and more addicted, and the money that Eric had given me from society and that I also used to kill him was running out. I was constantly being disturbed by him. That damn thing, I know it was him, I saw. He started stalking me, haunting me, and taking my sanity completely away. I couldn't stay sober anymore, and whenever I was smoking crystal, I saw him in my peripheral vision watching me. His face was reek of gunshots and was dripping with blood. I thought that was the madness of the wave, until he touched me. One day he pushed me and I fell down the stairs of the house where I was living. I broke my arm and luckily I didn't hit my head. His murder was still a mystery. The addict had stolen them too and was being sought by the authorities. No one suspected that I had set it up. The more he knew, and he pursued me even in death. And the more miserable I got, the more I saw him around me, looking like a vulture watching my misery. I couldn't even sleep because I dreamed of him sparing and torturing me. In the dreams he got angry because I had ended his life. I had literally killed him, and he knew everything. Money ran out, and I ended up becoming a beggar for a while, and I went through many humiliations living on the street. Until they caught the addict who had killed Eric, and he confessed that I was the one who ordered it. I went from the gutter to jail, and in the trial, Jesse looked at me with hate and anger. I was sentenced to life imprisonment along with the addict, and today I write this account of the jail. Jesse had asked for an electric chair for me, but the judge denied it and preferred to apply life imprisonment. To this day, I still dream about Eric, who disturbs me. I suffer from depression and severe schizophrenia. Envy took me everything, and today I pay for the lesson, just thinking that I'll never see freedom again. It's crazy. But I'm going to go crazy sooner or later, due to Eric's disturbances, who still visit me frequently.